How are you guys doing today? Okay, when you drive from Wenatchee to Wenatchee, do you leave town?
No.
No, you don't leave town. Okay, okay. Does it require much planning to move around town? Like if you get in a car to go to the store, you don't have to dress up all fancy or pack a lot of clothes or anything like that? Okay. What about if you spend a few hours in Kashmir? With me. Brief comments, go ahead.
Spent a few hours in Kashmir. Well, Kashmir is a place where you can go like river rafting, or you can just play out a park or go to raft riding.
So you might need to be a little bit more prepared.
Yes.
Okay. Do you need a map to go to Kashmir?
No.
Okay. Okay. What about if you're taking a trip from here? Oh, yes, Ariel. Okay, that's true. That's absolutely true. But generally speaking, to go from Wenatchee to Kashmir, you probably need a map. You might need a map. Okay. No, you just need some energy bars. What about if you're driving from here to Seattle?
Well, I know how to get to Seattle.
What if you're in an obscure part of Seattle? You have to go to some weird music store in Lake City Way.
Well, once you're in Seattle, because I know how to get to Seattle with a map, but once I'm in Seattle, maybe I might need a map because the place is humongous. Like, it's bigger than this. It's bigger than our town.
Right.
Probably put together.
Okay. And when you're going over the hill, okay, do you think you're going to need to make any stops for any particular reason?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think? Probably need a restroom break. Okay, you might need to put on change in your car, depending on the type of year it is. Grab a snack at the local mini mart, right? Okay. So how is a map of like going from one place to another similar to what we're reading on this piece of music? Abby? Well, you read both, right?
Are they different or how are they the same?
How are they the same?
Well, you can play many different notes on those, and you can go many different places in Seattle.
Okay. All right. Yes, that is absolutely correct. Are there any other comments about that? Let me ask you this: have you ever driven up? You guys, quick, you've driven up Seattle quite a bit. How many of you guys have gone to Seattle a few times? Okay.
I've been all around.
So you've only gone once. Okay. So some of you guys, are there any sights to see while you're driving over the pass, Ariel? Lots of trees. Lots. Okay, like going over the pass, like driving from here to Seattle. So everything in between. Boy, lots of fog depending on the day.
Snoqualmie, their ski site.
Yep, very good.
On Stevens Pass.
Yep, yep. Yeah, so you got Snoqualmie and Stevens Pass as ski hills. Ariel? Lots of grass, maybe a waterfall or two.
Yeah.
Maybe some unique shops that you'll see in there, here and there. So let me tell you this. You are the map readers, right? We read a map. Now the difference between us reading a map of, say, the state of Washington, driving to Seattle, and us reading the map of music is this, okay? You're driving down the road. Hey, there's a waterfall. Hey, there's a tree. Hey, there's an animal. Hey, there's a quarter note? Well, let's think about it this way. You are giving an audience a journey on music. And that journey involves lots of different things, okay? And one of those things is the relationships between notes. For instance, the distance between Safeway and your house. Yes, Safeway to Fred Meyer. Okay, is it a big distance for us here in Wenatchee? Yes or no? No. Okay. Safeway to Seattle, is that a big difference?
Yes.
Okay. So there's larger intervals and there's small intervals. There's big distances and small distances. And in music, we have the same kind of thing. Yeah.
This map is more like a map that we construct and find ways to do some music.
Oh, let's do see, that's why we have to learn how to read the map. Because in this case, we are telling our audience about this journey in music. And we have to be able to help them get from beginning to end, just as listeners. But we have to be able to interpret the map correctly first. Okay? There are several different relationships, distances between notes. Okay? We have lots of different kinds. You can see we have 7 different kinds represented up here. We're going to start and just go through 4 of those today. Okay? And we're going to talk, I want to preface that by saying this. We have lots of different notes with these stems and flags and stuff like that. Do the stems and the flags matter where it is on the staff?
Yes, it does. Well,
How does it?
well, actually, it matters is what instrument you're playing. Because with the bells, it would matter because then you would have to read it. But like if you're doing it on the drums, it would be on the whole same line.
Okay, well, let me build on that real quick. Okay, what is the difference? One second. You know that? Let's do that one. What's the difference between this and this? Okay, how are they the same? Ariel, how are they the same?
They're on the same line.
Okay, they're on the same lines or spaces. Okay, how are they different?
Some are quarter notes, some are whole.
Okay,
Well, one, the
so is the sound different or the length of the sound different?
length of the sound.
Okay, so we are not today, let me just tell you this right now, we are not talking about the length of the note. We're talking about the sound of the note. That's all we're talking about today.
Well, the sound would sound different because also when you hold it longer, there you can hear the ringing more like on the bells. But when it's faster, you'll just do this, and then you won't hear the dinging as much as
Okay.
because you have to go faster.
I suppose we could take it that far if we wanted to. But generally speaking, the only difference is how much you get to hear that note. Okay, we're not worried about that today. All we are worried about is with the distances between the notes with our ears. Okay, and so we're going to start today by talking about the simplest form. The simplest form is the repeated note. The simplest form. Now, have you ever heard the word adjacent before? Do you know what that might mean at all? When 2 things are right next to each other. So for instance, you and Albany would be adjacent to each other. Okay? Would you and Abby be adjacent to each other? No, because there's lots of space in between you and there's a person in between. So in this case, let's look at the series of notes up here. Okay? So, these 2 notes, for instance, those would be
Adjacent.
adjacent to each other. Okay, let me get that word up there. Adjacent. Okay, right next to each other. Okay, would these 2 notes be right next to each other?
No.
No, those would not be right next to each other. Right? So we're just talking about any 2 notes that are right next to each other.
Okay.
And the first one is what we call a repeat or a unison interval. In other words, it's like walking from Clovis to Clovis. We're here, right? So, everybody, I want you to find a note, and I want you to show me what a repeated note would sound like. Just pick a note. Ariel? Okay. Very good. F sharp twice.
I like
Very good. D twice. Albany. F twice. E flat twice. F sharp twice. Very good. Okay? So there you are. Okay? And in number 39, can you find any examples of 2 notes that are right next to each other?